Hello, I'm Kristen. I have been a police wife for 10 years and I'm super excited to talk to you and hopefully help you to be better in your marriage than I was. And I'm talking about the biggest mistake that I ever made in our marriage in this video. And this is a series of 3, and this is the third one. So check out the 2 arguments that I lost in our marriage that were actually it was a good thing that I lost those arguments, and I tell you why. And I hope that again you can learn from me and my mistakes in your police relationship. So if you're dating a cop or you're a police wife, this is the place for you. I also have an Instagram page and a blog, and I will link those below. I would absolutely love you to join my community on Instagram. I also send out weekly devotional emails, like lessons I learned in my marriage that week, and try to keep everybody informed and inspired. And so I struggled at the beginning of my relationship, and so I try to help you guys to not do that. So let's get started. The biggest mistake that I made was not embracing the lifestyle that comes along with being a police wife. So I would say I struggled with that even when I was dating a cop. When I was dating Rick, I struggled as well to not embrace it, and it took moments, it took time over our relationship for me to embrace it. And once I embraced it, I swear, like, our arguments stopped. So I feel like it took me a good 5 years of marriage, like way too long to do that. I did not grow up with any kind of police or law enforcement in my family. I did have some background. My dad was in the military, but not really like when I was old enough to remember. And then my grandfathers, both of them had been military, but no law enforcement. And I think law enforcement is just like some people have a military career for life, but law enforcement is a long-term career of a specific lifestyle. And I just didn't really know what that was. And I saw a therapist for a little bit and reflected on it when I was engaged to Rick, maybe our first year of marriage. And I had chosen my career, which is a professor. I have a teaching I always say like a teacher schedule. So I'm able to usually, not every day, but fit it in between like my children's class or school time. And I have summers off, and I have like a month off in winter break and spring break off and most holidays and all of that good stuff that police officers and first responders do not get. And I had designed my life for that, right? Like, I was actually a social worker for many years, and I worked 9 to 5. And I'm so thankful that I kept going to school and was able to have this beautiful schedule that I have now. I think it's much better for me in motherhood specifically. Allows me to have the flexibility to be with them more, and I am thankful for that every single day, and I love my career for that reason. But I realized that I was pushing back on that with Rick because his schedule was so chaotic, and I was like, I designed my beautiful, perfect life to have all of these like holidays off, and then you're not even off, and like I'm just spending time alone on these holidays. Like, what good is it for, right? Well, it's great for the kids, so I'm thankful for that now as a mom, seeing that. And then, in addition to just kind of like the overtime in the court and the unpredictability, his specific department has like these 4-week deployment periods, which I've talked to you about like so many times. And I will link any video related to scheduling below. So if you're struggling with this, I highly recommend me watch those too, and hopefully it will help you. But we just didn't know his schedule 4 weeks out, and it didn't correspond with like a beautiful calendar schedule. The deployment period could start the 2nd week of the month. So I was like, I just couldn't wrap my mind around it. And then not only that, but he wouldn't work the same days of the week. So I didn't know, like, there was no regular days on and off, and it drove me crazy, you know? So I just like fought against it for so long. And then, I remember kind of watching a movie that was all about gratitude in a marriage and focusing on that. And I really, like, I don't know why this specific movie like really hit home for me. And I started to focus on that. And I started to focus on like the fact that Rick was such a hard worker, and he brought income home to the family, right? Stability there. And he's such a provider. He truly is. And all those things that come with his career the benefits. He was able to take time off with each of our babies. Like there was just so health insurance, like all of these things that he was providing for us as a family. And then also really wrapping my mind, not just around that, because that's all amazing stuff, but like that we were a unique family and it's okay. And I remember talking to another police wife who is a police coach, does one-on-one coaching, Linda from Peaks and Valley, and I will try to link her below. She's amazing. She's been married 30 plus years in law enforcement. And I think she's really straightforward, and this really stuck with me when she said that. She says, we do take on more than average wives. We do more work in the home. We do take on more caregiving of our children, and we even caregive. I was reflecting on that recently with our spouses who get injured sometimes, and we do more than the average wife. And like once I really embraced that in my mind, it really helped me. So if you're in a place of like resisting it, you're like, oh, he's never home, he works so much overtime, he works so much core, and like you're lost in that, I challenge you, and I'm going to link below, I have a 10-day police wife, and definitely open to girlfriends doing it as well, challenge. And in that challenge, you're going to focus on self-care, you're going to focus on gratitude, and I want you to really remember that you hold this unique role in society. And that was a quote from one of my police wife followers, and like I'm so thankful for that quote as well. And what that means is that we do sacrifice more than other people. We do. That is the reality of this, and take pride in that. I'm thankful for you and all that you do to create a safe and happy place for our police officers to come home to. That is really meaningful work. And I did have another wife like emailing me that and just like reflecting on that and taking that home. I think sometimes it's good to have friends who aren't law enforcement, but it's also really good to have friends who are in law enforcement families or first responder families who get it, who get the sacrifice, who understand the uniqueness of this life, and can help you to realize that, oh, you're not alone in it. You definitely aren't. You're not alone. You're not the only one alone on holidays, on weekends, solo parenting. Like there's so many of us out there, and we do it with pride. And I want you to leave watching this video feeling really proud of who your husband is, that he is a hero. He is a real life hero out there. And then I also want you to know that you are amazing and that you hold down the fort in the house when he's not there, which is a lot. And it's like hard, but you are so strong, and you should be really, really proud of yourself. And in order for it to be sustainable, because it's not easy, is that you really have to love your spouse, and you have to find pride in it. And I think that that is what changed for me, is finding pride in it, which helped me to accept, okay, and this is what comes with it. And this is what I have been given, and what can I do with it? You know, can I be like the best mom and create, okay, our house is sometimes a mess and chaotic, but it is a happy home. And I really cherish that, and like being a part of creating that. We don't have a housekeeper. I clean my own home, and I take pride in it when it is clean that I did it, right? So take on all of those things. I try to make Rick's lunches, and like I take pride in that. They're not always the most beautiful. Like sometimes it's leftovers. He's working a 5-day stretch right now, and I was just sharing on Instagram like that I have like several. I just put like from every meal, I'm like, hey, what leftovers do we have? Like, and I put them in Tupperware to like help Rick out with lunches, and then I try to pack him like 2 different meals and some snacks to take to work with him. And those are things to take pride in, that I'm a part of what he does in a way, in just taking care of him and helping him take care of himself. We also, the reason that my 10-day challenge is all about self-care is because in order to sustain this, you also need to take care of yourself, right? Because we take on more than the average person, we need to be reasonable with ourselves. We need to take care of ourselves. And I that's why I share. I'm not a fitness coach by any means, but I do share my workouts. Like when I work out, I try to just take a little screenshot, share it with you guys, because I do home workouts. They are free. I use YouTube videos. I love Sydney Cummings. I love MadFit. You can Google those. Love them both. And you guys can do that too. So I hope that this series of videos help to address like some of those pain points that I see as common arguments. I know it's not just me, and I know that this is a tough one, that it takes time. It took me 5 years. I hope it takes you less, and that's why I'm sharing this with you, for me to really embrace this life and be proud in it. And that helped us out so much in our marriage, in our relationship, and in my family as a whole, right? Because also, just like I shared in my last video, I'm starting to have my kids old enough to ask questions. Why is daddy working so much? Why isn't he home today? And he just worked the last 4 days. Like, you need to have the confidence to be able to answer those questions, not with resentment and not with annoyance and all of that, but with pride around your husband. So I hope this helped you. Please leave me anything in the comments that you want me to talk about in the future. I am so thankful for you and I hope that you have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.